The content you're about to hear is a part of a paid programming segment. The views, opinions, and statements expressed belong solely to the sponsor and do not reflect those of Podcastic or its host. This segment is for informational and promotional purposes only and should not be considered as advice or endorsement. Listener discretion is advised.
Rise and grind, morning show at 9:15 a.m. Monday through Friday, great conversation, guest appearances, 'cause you experience us on the cusp of blowing up. Wake up, wake up. Rise and grind, morning show.
All right, welcome to the Rise and Grind Morning Show. We do this every Monday through Friday, and no matter what it goes on, we still keep going. Shout out to Comcast, Xfinity, whoever the fuck you are. Unfortunately, and this is the crazy part about technology. We rely on technology too much.
Yes, we do.
I don't care if we live or not. Right now, we record and we don't keep going through it no matter what. We're not getting interrupted or being distracted just so some people could comment. Y'all comment later and we'll pick it up later. Flat out.
And I would like to say, if you do like our show, we are on YouTube, so you can follow us at Rise and Grind Morning Show.
That's right. Nice. And so, listen, Facebook got a weak bladder. They would disconnect from you in a minute. So shout out to Lake for the weak bladder joke, because she said the same thing about our special friend Kong have a weak bladder. So everybody should have a weak bladder.
Don't ever be that person where you have to lie on air to talk about stuff we talk. I said that Miles looked like he has a weak bladder, and then you have some of these young men that look like they got strong, tight prostates. That's what I said.
That's a crazy one.
Because I ain't never sold myself.
Would you put on your headphones? I can't hear you and talking about.
You can't hear me without headphones?
I can't hear you.
Put on your damn headphones, Con.
Now get close to the mic.
I'm not getting close to the
Closer. Closer.
This is good enough.
You weird for wanting to do that, Blake. You just weird.
We had a great conversation at the beginning of the show, but we're not going to go back there. What we're going to do is we're going to introduce our guest.
Yeah, my ancestors shut that shit down. Like, wait on him. What's going on?
No, the ancestor was like, you ain't about to be talking about Tyler Perry like that. Like, Tyler Perry shut our internet down because he got some money.
Just like the Boondocks.
He's like a Jew now.
Just like the Boondocks, yeah.
Just pulled the plug. Like, y'all ain't about to be
He
telling
pulled the
me.
plug
no
on
man
Monique. I
deserves
seen
all
her
that
performing
power.
at a grocery store last month. Like, she had to start all the way over. She doing knock jokes door to door.
That's funny.
So my lovelies.
knock. Who's there? Tyler.
Miles want to go give it an ending to a movie that ain't streamed for a week. He like, we ain't about to play them games. We ain't gonna do. No, don't say it.
The black babies.
So wait a minute. We have some amazing people here today.
Yes, we do.
Would you guys like to introduce yourself? Starting with the lady.
Nice. My name is DeJounte Spinks. I am from the East Side, 48205 Gratiot and East 7 Mile. What else about me? I'm a model, a chef, a DJ, an entrepreneur, and I pass.
Who you passing it to?
My love, Trotter.
Hey.
I'm her love.
Trotter.
I love.
Thank you. We only got one hater in the room.
No,
Sign up on the hater list.
I like young love. I just don't like
We're
y'all
old
too.
love.
Okay.
Oh, you doing good? Yeah, we got some mileage. You got some mileage.
That's good.
How y'all doing? Happy Tuesday. My name is Sam. I am, she said, East Sider. I consider myself a hybrid. I was born on the East, raised on the West.
That's smart.
Visual artist, storyteller, chef, and entrepreneur.
That's what's up.
So I love that both of you mentioned that you are an entrepreneur. Can you tell our audience about your business?
Yeah. We have for the past year and a half, we've been operating in Detroit's North End off of East Grand Boulevard in Oakland at Someday. Someday is the region's only fine art gallery and bakery. We fuse the two, visual and culinary art, to craft unique forms of hospitality.
I love that. And Jean-Jacques, Can you tell us what someday means?
Yes, I say that someday is like this evolving dream. Everyone had this someday when they were young. They would say like, someday I'm going to retire my grandma, or someday I'm going to travel the world. And we immortalize that word to give people like a safe place. And it's our safe place too.
That's dope. Cause like someday I'm gonna smack the shit out of Lake.
Okay.
Someday.
Okay, it's a
I wish you
dream.
would.
It's okay.
I swear, I
Kitchen
make it
cabinet.
today. Man, we gonna call this show Today. Don't talk about it, be about it. Smack me. I swear, I want you to smack. I'm looking for somebody to smack me.
Listen.
Okay.
Tell him,
Listen.
come. You got my back, right? Because if he smack me, dog, I want you to take it from here. Because I may not survive this shit. So I just need that big ass hand to come from behind my face, okay? See, that's a little
It's
bro
gonna
right
come
there.
from back, and I'm gonna call the police. I'm gonna have my screen on as soon as my hand comes from the back. And be like, damn, did y'all see that shit?
See, that's why I can't. That's
Because I gotta
Can't
make
take
sure
nobody.
I'm here to observe and report. I'm not allowed to hit nobody no more. They told me that to my face.
Yeah, you-
like.
Okay, that's
Don't
okay.
put your
I'll take
hands
it.
on nobody else.
Okay, well, that's all right.
That's right.
I'm smacking both of y'all.
I
then.
give it back.
Damn.
I'm just letting you know.
Calm be like, you know I'm gonna kick your ass, right? And he be like, I'm sorry. I mean,
I gotta catch
Oh,
him later.
wait a
He
minute.
taking
My
his
mama
trash
said,
out.
"Oh no, Miles." My mama said, "Oh no, Miles."
Oh, your mama?
Yeah.
Okay, I quit.
Like she don't play about smacking her child. I'm telling you.
She might smack
We
your
don't play
ass
them.
enough.
She only had to smack me once.
Mm-hmm.
But I bet you won't put your hands on me. She'll be here before you get. Man, I'm telling you, my mama don't play about me. I'm her only one. So who is this big guy?
blessing.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you scrolling or are you on the show?
I'm trying to promote the show at the last minute because I'm last minute. How y'all doing?
Keep going.
KONG, Kong Gorilla, Kong Comedy, the founder of the longest running grassroots Juneteenth event in Michigan. This is our 15th year. Things are about to get crazy.
Nice.
It's about to be a crazy 5 days of serving the people, securing them, keeping them safe, and getting them back home. You know, we want y'all to come out, enjoy your culture, enjoy yourselves, and go home. So let's make sure that.
And Kong is open for donations for what's going down with the 15th annual Juneteenth event too, right? You got
Yeah,
donations.
shout out to the brother Dorian who wrote in and called in yesterday. He kept his word. He definitely sent a donation.
Oh, Dorian,
And,
that's my bro. He's Pisces too. We always keep our word.
Are you trying to find him a date? He's a Pisces. What does that have to do?
So
Because I say
Dorian, is she trying to hook you up?
See, now we know.
what?
Now we know.
With like
Shonda, you must be a Pisces.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Because your wife
He
over there
like, couldn't do it. She like, couldn't do it.
Yeah, we just
Possible.
got some
Must be a
histories
Leo.
with some Pisceans.
Oh wow.
Well,
Some Pisonians.
I'm sorry for both of you.
Conversation and a bunch of
Thanks.
But we do appreciate people who keep their word and do donate to the 15th annual Juneteenth. And so one of the things we're going to get into later about all the events we have going on with the festival, but they are also doing some events at their
Gallery.
Yeah, I'm so glad you got. She just had a stroke right here.
bakery.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we got a
gallery.
couple moments. We're celebrating our
Second
that's not it.
annual.
Yeah, the second annual Twerk Jubilee.
Women twerk.
Twerk, yeah. So on the bakery side, we're the whole idea is, you know, historically, the culinary industry, fine art industry, they've been, you know, historically inaccessible for marginalized people, black and brown folks, and so speaking to that, trying to make space for it in a codified manner, we serve twerks. You know, a twerk is a brioche milk bun rolled with caramelized apples, topped with brown butter icing and salty pie crust. And the joke is, you know, 9 times out of 10, if you're purchasing a twerk, it's not going to happen at our gallery. So we're just, you know, playing with that narrative a bit.
Oh, shit, I'm
almost
a-
like a green book in a way.
Okay, I want to play with a twerk. Listen, so put my finger right in that twerk.
Yeah.
So listen,
God damn it.
I mean, something about brown butter brioche buns just sounds like
Say that 3 times fast.
brown butter brioche bun, brown butter brioche,
Hey.
brown butter brioche bun, brown butter bun. I can say brown butter bun.
Brown butter brioche bun.
Brown butter brioche bun.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. It sounds buttery.
sound like a new porn. So listen,
Hey, I'll watch it.
me too.
It's a sexy experience. You know what I'm saying?
So we also have the twerk jubilee. I mean the jubilee that is going to happen on Juneteenth as well.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
And what time are you guys open that day?
So we'll be there probably like noon to 9. The party starts at 3, and we have a few amazing DJs pulling up. We'll be serving our treats, having a bit of conversation. We think Juneteenth it's been overly commercialized on a couple of different stages, and so we're just trying to, where we can, create space so we can have jovial party, but also honor the culture and the history.
Now I have a question. Just like the festival that we're doing for Kong, is this event going to be all family, kids welcome, and everything as well?
Of course. Yeah.
So is alcohol free?
Is alcohol free or is it no
free?
alcohol?
No alcohol.
No, yeah. I mean, we
Maybe there'll be alcohol after 8 p.m.
yeah.
Speak to him since he's scrolling. Is that we want to make sure that we have moments on Juneteenth where it's not about everybody drinking and
Yeah.
smoking. We
I
want
see.
to
Yep.
celebrate the culture, and we need to do that with our children.
In a sober manner.
And there's no way to be able to do that if Paul Ball over here having a
With his
heat
40.
stroke with his hen dog and stuff like that, and ain't nobody watching the kids.
Right.
That's something that we could do on the 4th.
Yep. I love that. Yeah.
Bring the debauchery to the front.
But
Yeah.
but I love the fact that you guys are creating communities, and it's kind of like a crossroad.
Yep.
In the same area where you guys could just enjoy your family. Like, what can I do with my kids today?
I'm glad I bought a new meaning to stand your ass right there. No, I'm joking. Come on. You see me? I'm glad I bought a new meaning to twerk.
Just trying to know.
That's how big your ass is. You right here.
Stay focused. Okay, so one of the things, today's topic
Your
that we're
camera
going to
right
talk about is we're going to put today's topic we're going to talk about is before and after, being black in America before and after Juneteenth. Have you guys noticed the difference with the celebration? When did you first recognize that Juneteenth?
I feel like it was almost invisible before, what was it, 2020? I feel like we kind of commercialized it in that time, and then it became like you said, it was not about celebrating the culture and the ancestors more so than getting
Another
40,
day to get lit.
getting drunk, that jazz.
An off day for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we're born in Detroit, but our adventures took us elsewhere. We first came in contact with Juneteenth while living in Los Angeles, and we would host different kind of like in a Friendsgiving manner. We'd have folks over, we'd commune, we'd cook, the whole nine. But yeah, to her point, it was very, slightly a if you know, depending on the type of crowd of black folks you were around.
Right.
And then it was at Walmart.
So when you guys were on the West Coast, did people celebrate Juneteenth more than what you see here?
From if I'm thinking back on my childhood, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the communities I was raised in
Did not know about
didn't
it.
touch it until after 2020, after Biden,
Right.
hit the green light. Yeah, and so to answer the question, being black in America before and after, it's almost as if we carry these passes in our pocket that aren't working. They're not active until somebody else says it's now time to celebrate.
So, Carl, I do have a question for you. Being that this is the 15th annual, have you seen a big difference in the past 5 years opposed to the 10 years prior to?
I messed up college, right? I only went 3 years instead of 4. And then I went to prison. And I learned about Juneteenth there, and I came home and went crazy with it, right? Your pastors, your city council, your neighborhood knowledge person, like whoever it was they trusted to guide them, they all kept it from them.
Yep.
You don't have to call it a conspiracy. It just was. There were black people, like you said, who they knew, but they slid off and went somewhere else to celebrate it. They went to Idlewild.
Yeah.
They went to Lansing. Lansing is on their 32nd year, and nobody knew anything about it. And then all of a sudden, like you said, it became a holiday, and now it's on ice cream tops in Walmart, and they're selling T-shirts. But we went over there yesterday and we said, keep this in the house. Purchase everything that you need from Juneteenth from someone who looks like you. If they're on the internet, do your research and make sure you're not sending it to somebody who would rather oppress you or disrespect you online. Like,
There you go.
this is a chance for us to turn this holiday into $1 billion holiday that, and all the money, like you said, goes to us.
And it goes to us.
After it became a national holiday, it became a cash grab for people who understand how to manipulate grants. There are some great events, but I just wonder, where were you? You feel me? The Jamboree on Livernois, the Avenue of Fashion, great event. Great event. They've been working on that. She began at the Charles H. Wright Museum. When she invited us to work at the Charles H. Wright Museum, I said, leave here. They're going to take all your ideas, and then they're going to let you go.
Now, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
I mean, because I do work in the museum industry, and the majority. I love the fact that there's a safe space. They are doing a Juneteenth celebration, just like they would do any other holiday. But as an employee and a minority employee, I want my holiday to be filled with my people. And there's a space for my child. I mean, y'all should have seen. I was like a big kid that was like fried eggs last year because it was hot as shit. I was out there for the parade. It was so hot, and King was acting like a jerk. But I think I took pictures with everybody, and I seen people who looked like me that I worked with. I seen kids that I spoke to. I seen bands and graduates, and I just absolutely felt joy watching the parade and then walking over. Can somebody just tell Miles to leave because he's falling asleep?
Because you're boring.
Well, Gigi can just take your spot. I mean, if I'm that boring, then why the numbers going up?
He old. That makes sense. That makes sense with the museum that you work at. It does not make sense with the Charles H. Wright African American History Museum.
So what was the
They-
difference?
They have never celebrated Juneteenth.
Oh, never.
Never.
Wow.
Oh,
Not
wow.
once.
Blasphemy.
Never.
Never.
There's never been anything going on there until it became a
sandwich.
national holiday. That's why it speaks to the fact that we said yesterday they get federal money for
Okay.
doing certain things.
Yeah.
How are you the African American History Museum and you have never acknowledged Juneteenth? They were not interested in giving you something that empowers yourself, that empowers your people.
Yeah.
Once a
they
year
keep
we
those
get to
slaves
celebrate education, we get to celebrate families, we get to celebrate in ways you don't do on any. We don't get drunk and get overfed and fall asleep.
Well,
We outside all day for 4, 5, 6 days. They don't want that.
And so here's another thing. At one point in time, the African American Museum was ran by a white marketing company. So
Yep.
Most of the administration now is white.
yeah,
I mean, that's the with everything that's going on with, if you think of the larger administration from the Trump and all of that bullshit. This is our season to think about what we want to invest in, what institutions we want to support, align ourselves with, and trying to have the discernment of hey, are you feeding me what I actually need? That is a huge
That's
reason
good.
why we
That's a
started.
good
something.
Now, with you guys being black entrepreneurs in the city, do you feel like you're getting support of the people in the city? Especially
and
those
flows.
who look like y'all.
It ebbs and flows. There are some times where we find very kind of like Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying?
night,
You find very
I'm sorry, Sam.
very specific pockets of our folks who fall in love and want to build community. The way we met you know what I'm saying, was in a similar manner of just a natural hug. But in large, as much as we would hope and pray for the work that we are trying to do. No.
So that's one of the things that we want to turn around. We want to talk about our black businesses and what we're doing, because the whole art bakery fusion thing is like kind of hot. But I also know that it's becoming generational. You know what I mean? So you'll probably get more support by people that's just young 30 and below of all colors, because that area is kind of hot for Caucasians as well.
It's it feels like Arts District in New York and Los Angeles. Is they're it's a lot of intentional steroids being put in.
So I have a question for anybody. Do you guys get offended when other people of other races start celebrating Juneteenth, or where's
I think
the
that
fine line?
integration should have never happened.
Oh, jeez.
When it comes to
Let's just go there.
when it comes to the public, we spent years, and we went over this yesterday, but we spent years gatekeeping. Like literally standing at the gate telling random politicians who see a crowd of black people they can't bring their clipboard in for signatures. And we would have meetings and they would say, what are we going to do when the white people show up, when the gay people show up, when the white women show up? And I didn't want to upset the people that I was working with. So I kind of just let them hash that out. But the truth of the matter is, if you accept that you are a leader, right? In our community, they call each other king and queen and all that. If you accept that that's what you are, then you cannot limit your people and the resources that they can receive. You can't do that by yourself. That's a dictatorship. You feel me? So we had an event where we had a lip singing contest during Juneteenth at Maharris Park, and a brother wanted to be Rick James. So I was like, well, you can be Rick James, but you can't be Rick James without Tina Marie. You feel me? I actually thought I issued him a challenge he wouldn't be able to pull off. Like, what white woman you gonna find? Huh?
So
you gotta find a white
guy.
woman.
Okay,
a black guy wanted to be Rick James.
Okay.
But you can't do that without Tina. So now you gotta find a white woman who wanna come to Juneteenth and sing. And he did. And they dressed up and he wore a suit and they did their thing and it was great.
When are you doing another lip sync? I want to do a lip sync.
But look though,
contest.
one of the brothers
What
I
would you
worked
do,
with was like,
Leia?
I don't think a white woman should ever touch the microphone during Juneteenth. Like white people should never touch the microphone during Juneteenth.
I don't think they need to.
And I was like, my thing is,
They can go to work.
my thing is, they may not ever be involved in running it. They may not ever be involved in receiving any money from it. But to keep them out of it turns you into a whole nother beast.
So
feel
when
me?
you say touch the mic, you just mean that they shouldn't be putting on the events.
No,
They
he
should
don't.
be
He
attending
in
events.
his way believed that under no circumstances for any reason should a white person be on the microphone during the Juneteenth event.
Oh, talking.
Period. Like
You have nothing to
they
say.
get no shine. They get no. You know what I'm saying?
Why?
And
Why do they need to be?
that's everybody feels different. You know what I'm
they
saying?
have to
Like
have
I don't say who can't come. What we do need is peace, and we need people who respect our culture and love us. At that point, it don't matter what you look like.
I guess the reason why I'm asking, and I'm in a dilemma, right? Because I call myself being pro-black, but it is a national holiday
Now.
now, right? But when it comes to celebrating things, I'm not gonna say we was forced to celebrate the 4th of July. You know what I'm saying? But
were.
but nobody
definitely
was
were.
also like y'all was still like locked up in cotton fields, so you better put that barbecue
They
pit
say
down
it
and you don't
behind
get
their doors.
You
No,
get
we were
no
serving.
fireworks.
We were serving
You
them.
get no fireworks.
We were serving them. We were happy that our masters were happy.
Right,
It's
but
a time
now,
for them to
That mean they
celebrate.
gonna
But
leave them
now-
alone.
but now,
Now,
2025.
I believe you don't ever have to say those words. You don't ever have to say
Well,
who
so
can't come. If you design something a certain way, then some people just aren't coming.
What's understood
You know what I'm
shouldn't have to be
saying?
excluded.
Yeah, some people
Yeah,
just
not
aren't coming.
coming to-
But
I get
what
my
happens with the
40
white
acre
mothers who
little-
have black
they can't
children? Right,
can't
that was the thing when they said, "What we gonna do?" when the white women come and say, "Well, white women have black children."
All the time.
You know what I'm saying? So we're just gonna cut off their understanding. Mind you, we already got generational issues with light-skinned people not connecting with us. Now we come up with this event and we say, "Well, don't bring your light-skinned kids." Because we don't want them to learn our culture. You know what I'm saying? So when they grow up and you're like, oh, y'all don't give a damn about the struggle. I'm sorry. Y'all literally did not invite me to any
Y'all
of the cookouts.
literally said my mommy
You know what I'm
couldn't
saying?
come.
Yeah, like how they
That's
supposed to
my
get
mother.
there?
My thing is to don't limit the resources. Don't limit the education, because I feel like at this time it's a time to educate. That's the most important thing, is to educate. No, I mean, as far as them being on the mic, it ain't your event.
Right.
But at the same time, no, I'm not going to say no to a resource, because let's be real, it's you can get money, you know what I'm saying, but you don't have to water down what you're doing.
No.
You don't have to and you stand on the principle and the real meaning of what it is, and make sure whoever is funding it understands really what it is and is dedicated to the mission, versus putting their name on something just to have their name on it, to say, hey, I did that. No, I like silent. I would work for an organization that got $14 million taken away from them because of the budget cuts and the grant cuts, because we're serving majority black children. You know what I'm saying? So with that, it's like we have silent donors. Hey, I don't even want my name. If they coming up, I don't want nobody to know who I am, just because I'm just dedicated to the mission. So no, I wouldn't say eliminate or try to. This would be the main time to educate and bring them into our world to get understanding.
You can do it, but you have to know
have a
that you are
question.
limiting the growth of your situation.
Yeah.
Because you can't get big and say white people can't come in.
Right,
That's just
absolutely.
impossible.
So
So once
Jay
you
has
start
a
pushing
question.
that message, understand what you're putting yourself in, pushing that message.
So
Yeah.
what's your question, huh?
By educate, do you mean like you're giving them books and references, or is this like, is this a guided education, or like, hey, you need to go sit down and learn because Google is free?
We're gonna hold that question real quick. I like that question. Hey, caller, you're on air.
That's a phone.
Good morning, Lee. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
All right. I would just add too.
Who's that? Is that Dorian? Hey, Dorian.
Hey,
Y'all see how you say good morning late? I told y'all. That's my dog.
I would add too. Like, you know, on one end, we are Americans, right? Because we have now we got working on two or three holidays. It's what at least two of them are national, right? So think about this for a second. When we celebrate Cinco de Mayo, or when we go and help celebrate St. Patrick's Day, the events, is anybody black spearheading those events?
No.
Negative.
No.
Right.
Are they on stage?
And neither one of those holidays are national holidays. And so we could say Columbus Day, which technically I would guess and that's an Italian holiday. How many black people are spearheading events, got their hand on the mic? No disrespect, but we got to understand what this is about. This isn't Martin Luther King Day. This isn't Black History Music Month, which it is technically. But it's this June 19th is a day where we supposedly found out that these devils decided to let us go.
Right.
So I'm all for unity. I'm all for inclusion, right? Because look, we include ourselves in their stuff.
But you can't sit on the board though.
But
There's an organization out here.
I'm with my man. Like, I don't want to see nobody white really touching nothing. I could look. You lucky that you invited to the barbecue.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Shame.
No. Any money getting flowed from grants should go to black events and black control events.
There's
Can we please have that? Y'all have already taken Martin Luther King Day and turned it into a whole different thing,
Right.
right? And so, yeah, like somebody said, y'all go to work. Don't worry about where we go. Don't worry about our day off. Our day off. And I don't want. And if you do showing up, and if you do got some mixed kids, yeah, they can celebrate the 4th of July and they can celebrate Juneteenth. But my white sister, please sit down. My white brother, please sit down. Go in the back and make sure you don't bring no doggone potato salad with no raisins.
Okay.
Dog potato salad.
So Dorian, we thank you so much. That is dope. I think right now you guys can hear our voices.
Yes. You can
can't-
still hear us.
You can hear us, but you can't see our faces, which is all good. We're gonna continue on the conversation though.
Yeah.
Oh, this like a cheap podcast now. It's like one in the basement with your homeboy now.
No, actually, it became a podcast because usually people
what I thought.
You can't see.
They can't
You're
see
supposed
you.
to be able to hear the words and be able to function through your day while you cleaning and everything. So we're going to continue on with the conversation.
Yes.
Oh, did you say you wanted one of these?
I did.
We can definitely get you
Is that
one.
3D?
Well, how much is it?
They $30.
Jesus Christ, I can't get me one.
Yeah, they cost $25 to make.
I want.
There's an
3D
organization
printed.
called Black Leaders Detroit that's in the city, and they're doing amazing work, supporting all types of businesses, different organizations that have black leadership, so forth and so on, raising millions of dollars. They have within their board system as a nonprofit a ally board where folks that aren't black are invited to sit on and participate, but within that conversation there isn't power,
Right.
like they're agreeing to a very specific role and they fulfill it, but there's no, hey, you telling us what to do as this part of the organization. There's no programming. There's no, it's just whatever your privileges are. If you have that ability to go and help us get money, you're an ally. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I think we need that. We got to build our rings of community,
Right.
and access.
And going back, I'm just gonna lighten up a little bit. I ain't trying to take away from you, but going back what Calvin said, we need to stop playing with Tyler Perry because he playing with our internet. But like seriously, I absolutely hope that people get into more of the celebration aspect of what we have going on June 19th. You know what I mean? Like bringing your families together. If it's an off day, what are you going to do with that day? So you were going back when you was talking about educating. I want Jay to go back, and you were saying like, is it were you asking, is it our responsibility to educate people, or should they be taking responsibility to educate themselves?
Remember in 2020 when the white people was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry for being racist 2 weeks ago. How can I help? How can I unlearn it?" And it's just like, babe, there's thousands of books, thousands of media for us to just. It's so obvious, I feel like. So that's what my question was when you said they can be educated, but do they have to be educated on my day of joy, or can they wait?
No. What I was saying, if you are even if they are interested in this holiday, enjoying or learning, there should be an initiative just with anybody. If you want to learn more, you're going to take the initiative and use the resources available. And then I'm going to come together, like, if I'm a white woman, then I'm going to come to y'all day and say, all right, I understand if it's something more that I need to learn in that, or celebrating with y'all because I get it now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by educate. If we use this time to, hey, let's port them in the right direction. Hey, you want to celebrate? Do you really know what this means? Have that conversation and leave it open to them asking questions with intention and with genuine care and concern for what we're doing here, not just saying, hey, let's come. I got my kente cloth, y'all.
Right.
I got my colors on. It's Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just showing up on 4th of July with red, white, and blue. Like, come on, y'all.
But that's just not.
I want to take a pause real quick. Shani, can we take a pause for a commercial break? We can't take a pause for a commercial break. Okay, so never mind. Watch Broad Day.
Yeah. Watch Broad Day.
Streaming on Tubi.
Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rise and Grind Morning Show. Like, follow, click, subscribe if you see it on your feed anyway. Like and follow our Facebook page as well. We're trying to get the followers up on YouTube, so definitely check us out on YouTube. Switch over if you want to, and click and subscribe.
And while we have your attention right now, we want to shine light on some of the things that we have going on at the 15th annual Juneteenth Community Festival. So they are starting the day off at 6 a.m. with a sunrise yoga. And that's going to be amazing because it's going to be a great temperature. I think it's going to be around 70 or something in the morning. So that is a great way to start your day. And if you are athletic or you want to get your exercise on, that's going to be followed by a 9 a.m. 5K walk and run at 14100 Woodward. Now, where exactly is 14100?
The Glory Supermarket parking lot.
Okay, so and then right there, if you guys haven't attended, I'm asking everybody to come hang out with me. I had the perfect spot last year across Manchester, right there by the Dollar General. We had that grass right there, and I had such a great time. But from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., the parade is going to start, and we're going to walk that right on to Avalon Village, right?
We are going to have the parade, and then the car show will start immediately after that.
So where's the car show?
The car show and the Loctician Showcase are both inside the Glory Market parking lot.
Okay, so we traveling, we're taking the parade around.
Yeah, we're going
And then-
up Manchester, then we coming back, and everybody will come into the parking lot, set their cars up. We'll start that, and then a couple hours later, I believe at 3 p.m., the festivities, the bounce houses and vendors and all of that starts at Avalon Village. We had to split them in two because of permit issues, but at the same time, we were looking for the best way to present our visitors from Africa, and we didn't want to present them in front of the Glory supermarket.
Absolutely. Right.
So obviously, Avalon is a great place for that.
Shout out to Mama Shu.
Yes, the car show is from the Neighborhood Superstars. They just did something for Memorial Day. We just had, was that Memorial Day?
I don't know what
Or
it was.
whatever holiday it was. They went crazy. It was great. We don't use floats. We use the hard work and the love that men and women in Detroit put into their cars. And this is what oohs and ahs the kids. You know what I'm saying? And then our young people choose and vote on the best vehicle, whether it be a slingshot, motorcycle, SUV, and that's who gets the trophy. We've been giving out trophies for best in show for years
entering
now.
my Trailblazer, so I want that trophy, y'all. and then there's opportunities to go out and venture to other events. So we have these amazing, the Jubilee that's going on.
Yeah.
That's right around the corner. That's a Uber ride that should cost you less than $6. You know what I'm saying? And you could park your car and drive back and forth between the two. And you guys are going all night, right?
Yeah, 2 to 10 p.m. We got some amazing DJs. Ember Lafiama, she just DJ'd at Movement. DJ Anka, myself, DJ Milky Way. So
You DJ Milky Way?
yeah, I'm DJ Milky Way.
Yeah, she dope. Actually,
I love women DJs.
Me too.
That's how I met these two. Actually, we were at an event called Drinks by Design. She was DJing, he was being the chef, and I didn't know that these two was a couple.
Oh, that's
but then
so cool.
when I stopped into the establishment, it was so much love, and it's just a cool environment to just sit there, chill, work, purchase something, look at art, and we need those type of things into our lives,
Yeah.
So I want to talk about like how I feel being black. I think.
I'm sorry, I still wanted to speak on the education part.
Oh, go ahead. Oh no, I'm sorry. Talk about it.
Okay, so we spent the first 5 years of the celebration seriously having to inform, not so much educate, but inform people as we celebrated this. They had no idea what it was. I'm talking about our people. They had no idea what it was. They kept calling it a barbecue. Are you gonna throw that barbecue again? So each year I had to go harder at creating the smells, the sights, the sounds, so they understand this is bigger than us just getting together to eat. You feel me? So I had to, meet African dance groups and African drummers, and we had to learn how to set the tone for this so that they know that we're here to lift them up. When we talk about educating, in 2025, everyone needs education. The same naivety and ignorance that white people have to Juneteenth, black people have the same ignorance. No one told you.
Right.
Yes.
They don't know. Even now they're going Juneteenth, they still don't know what it is or why. And the story that they gave us is a commercialized story. It's the one they're going with, but there's 12 to 15 different versions of how this unfolded and how our people eventually got free.
Right.
So when it comes to the education and informing them of who they are and what their true history is, everyone needs it. You know what I'm saying? And it never stops. So I'm glad that we joined with Mama Shu this year, and we have the African dignitaries coming, because this is the first time we've really stopped everything and asked people to be quiet so they can hear someone speak. Other than that, the education of it is proving to them they are the lesson. I gathered 1,200 of you today for 6 hours, and there was no issues. You know what I'm saying? That is the lesson. The lesson is that sober, united for one positive reason, if we all focus on our children, we can go away from this learning something, learning that we ain't that bad.
We not that bad.
You feel me? You got a chance to meet people and talk to people because you're sober, and because everyone is smiling and having a good time. So that has become the lesson. You know what I'm saying?
And I will will give a shout out to the Detroit Historical Museum because we are providing an environment where white people can go because it's going to be full of white people, you know, because they love the Historical Museum. And then when people have love for it, they want to know more. So they know if you go to the museum, I'm welcome there because this programming revolves around me. But our head of education is also an African American man. So that allows him to have Jamon Jordan speak. And we have some story living presentations that will take you through the walk of when people found out, you know, and give them the education. And we have a pathway to freedom that people can go through the museum and be like, wow, they really stuffed this many people on this boat. Because when you see Caucasians and they just look at the picture of the boat, they be like, this can't be real. And I'm like, no, it's not. It was actually more people.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't consume in your head how much it took from us and what they did to get us here, and the fact that, you know, it's like going to work every day and you ain't getting your check, you know what I mean? Like nobody told you that you wasn't supposed to be working anymore, and they don't know how to translate that into real life. So I would say, like, for those who are interested and you do want to be a part of the festival, go to places like the museums that are doing programming that's inclusive until you feel like there's a space and a place. I will also say I would love for people to actually see the parade. Like last year was my first parade. And to see the kids, you know, like the unity in itself should be showcased. It should have been on the news. It should have been everywhere around the world because people need to see, like you said, Black people doing their thing without being intoxicated, without showboating, you know what I mean? No stripper heels, no twerking unless it's a brioche butter bun. And it felt good, even with my son having his funky ass attitude that day because he was hot. By the time it was over, you know what I mean? He was better. Then he asked, could he go home? And I dropped his ass.
We just have never seen anything like that. It turns out the Michigan parade takes place in Highland Park, but some time ago they moved it on to Hamilton.
What's the Michigan parade?
It's like a Michigan parade. Like, we love Michigan. It's been going on for like 20 years. But this is the thing. It's been going on since I was a child. But the same reason we can't be on Woodward, they moved that parade off of Woodward onto Hamilton. There's no one there.
There's no one
to see it. And they put so much effort into this great parade. So when we started the parade, they told us no 3 years in a row. They just kept saying no. And then our fourth year, we just did it. Thanks to Pastor Mo and United in Peace. We just started walking down the street. But apparently there's a difference. Without a parade, without a marching band, it's a march.
Okay.
Once you add rhythm and music to it, it's a parade, whether you're on the street or in a sidewalk. So now your permits and everything change. So it wasn't easy to get it started because they just appear to be so busy. So we don't have cars to watch you. I don't need you to watch me walk down the street. I just did it yesterday. You feel me? Like, I know the way to where we going and everything. Just let us walk down the street. So
I have two questions. First question for you is, what do you need to do to get the permits or make it bigger where you can walk down Woodward? Or
there's three things. One, our parade must become a mile or more long on its own. Because then there's really nowhere to go. Yes, the people, the vehicles, has got to be a mile long. Because then there's not very many secondary streets you can travel on, right? That's one. That's one pin. The next pin is your petitions. We're talking about thousands of people. Like, so we have this event. There's an event in Midtown. There's an event in West Chicago. There's going to be petitions at all of those events for everyone to sign their name to get the parade on Woodward. The next part is $20,000. The state of Michigan requires $20,000 for us to walk 1.8 miles there and back right now.
You have to pay them.
They want $20,000. Yes. Now the thing is, this is what the petition is for, because we have to let people, just like with the Chinese in their own New Year, you have to let your local government know that our people have come together and this is what we want. Right? They used to say, write your congressman. That's a real thing, right? You do write your congressman and say, this is what happened in this district. We don't like it. You know what I'm saying? So we're willing to pay $5,000. We're willing to pay that because some things have to be moved around. Y'all need extra police. But for you to ask for such an absorbent amount, we're not giving you that. We're never going to do it. Eventually, we'll just turn the corner and walk up Woodward, and you'll have to shut down 2,000 people.
Right.
But they're trying. That's why I say it's a systematic effort to keep you small. To keep your event ducked off behind the building over there, to keep your banners over there. Like, we got a grant one time that said, like, we basically couldn't buy anything that lasted beyond the event. No T-shirts, no banners, no cups, no nothing. Like, buy perishable stuff. And it's like, well, why? Because they don't want a child 2 weeks later, somewhere with a cool shirt on, and somebody's like, well, where'd that shirt come from? And one way or another, there's more people knocking on your door for the grant now. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. And until you get involved in this type of stuff, you think, those people don't know what they're talking about. It can't be that hard. It really is. Because before it was a national holiday, we were in Maharis Park. We were in all these other parks free of charge. All we had to do was get it together and we could have our event. The moment it became a national holiday, Parks and Recs wanted $1,500 down payments to be in Maharis. They wanted $150 from everybody that was a vendor. We'd been out there for years. And now all of a sudden you're taking the money that we use to put these events on. People come to parks and get drunk and get sex tickets and break liquor bottles. We come here to lift up our people, have a great time, and leave the same way we came. And for that, they want thousands of dollars. That is not a mistake. It's not even needed. They don't even need our money. It's by design to make it harder for you to throw these events for your people.
You've been practicing that answer.
I've been saying it for years. They pieces of shit.
Amen.
But that's just with any holiday or anything that you're trying to do. If it becomes something that's national or something that's put a spotlight on, they're going to try to take advantage of it. They're going to try to limit. They're going to try to capitalize on anything that we do. It's just.
And they should be helping.
They should be helping.
They should be helping. There's a parade down south that travels through like 3 or 4 counties.
Right.
Wow.
It's so long. It just keeps going. And every city is ready for them when they come. You feel me? That's
So
what
do
we
it
would.
grow as they go
And that's
through
where
the
we want
county?
this to go. Like rain, sleet, or snow, we want everybody outside. If you look at if you Google Juneteenth images and look at what has been down south, that sea of people, it look like no kings. You feel me? Except everybody out here for each other. You know what I'm saying? Chicago is a crazy place. But when they do their yellow Juneteenth, I'm talking about, it's like the sun landed on the earth. I mean, everyone, all the YNs, everyone's wearing
Got on
yellow.
yellow.
There's no
YNs.
problems. There's no beef. And there's thousands of Chicago people in the streets. So it definitely can be done. And the example of us being powerful and united is just something our local government is still to this day working to squash. And your pastors were a part of it. And your city council was a part of it. Your teachers were a part of it. Your educated, scholarly brothers and sisters were a part of it, because most of the people on Livernois throwing that event are educated sorority members and fraternity members who decided to get together and find a space for themselves to throw this event. When in actuality, we could have worked together. We could have all been together, and it wouldn't just be on Livernois, on 3 blocks of Livernois. You feel me? We're not going to get to where we want to get to with this event, having 97 small events.
So I have a question for you too, and then I have another question. But taking the Juneteenth aspect out of it, because a lot of this probably resonate with just being a Black-owned business. Do you find the same red tape that trying to get your word out, trying to get grants for your business or anything? Are you at a stalemate?
Yeah, you say, are we at a stalemate?
Yeah.
All the time, in a lot of different ways.
All
All the time, in a lot of different ways. I'm sorry. You have a lot of different community organizations that receive money, to Kong's point, and in that relationship of receiving money, they have their own parameters, parameters that they have to operate in. In a simple way, yes. It's been difficult.
Because it's so crazy about us being one of the blackest cities, in America. It's always easier for white folks to get money.
Yep.
Of course. Now,
But it's storytelling. That's what it is.
I absolutely
We
believe
were
that.
awarded the Motor City Match Program.
Okay.
And it was a blessing in a lot of ways, because it helped, naturally give us the foundation in building out our space. But for whatever reason, programs like that, they lead with the, hey, we're going to fund your vision and give you this money. There's a lot of red tape. And that red tape brings, delays. It brings lack of access to certain communities, a lot of different grading systems. And if you aren't A+ across the board, with the budget already, they kind of want you to naturally have the money while you're asking for money. It's
like a
you get
chicken
red
and
marked.
egg.
It's like
Like the chicken and the egg.
Right.
You have to like mark that you're a black business and that I am here to offer help to my people, but that also is a red flag and a target on our back.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like a tightrope that we have to walk to get the money, but also to stay alive.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, when you say there was 90, did you say 97 events?
Yes.
Small events.
Do you guys starting on June 20th have a committee? Like, is there one committee
There
of
is
people
a-
who are planning on doing events on Juneteenth that you start?
There is a Michigan chapter, an official Michigan chapter of Juneteenth. There are a group of retired brothers who have been putting on an event in the name of Michigan Juneteenth for years. But that cohesive unit, we're working on building that now with other organizations and organizers who throw similar events to ours, right? That way it's not going to be that big of a change. You know what I'm saying? We all on the same page. You want to uplift graduates. You want to focus on the kids and the youth. So that's forming. I believe as a whole, we need to all decide that if your Juneteenth turns violent, then you cannot host a Juneteenth anymore.
Absolutely.
Whether you are a business or individual, if you do not understand your people, if you do not understand what it takes to keep them safe and secure, we should not see your name or your brand on another Juneteenth event like forever long. So that's why some type of communal board does need to be started, and we're guessing and assuming because we're the oldest ones that we're going to spearhead that. You know what I'm saying?
As you
We
should.
do not have to all have the same views, understandings, or background to work together.
Yep.
And this is what is separating us. Like, oh, come on, we all graduated from college. Let's throw one. And then those are the hood niggas. Let them throw one. You know what I'm saying? But in actuality, we need to be together to hold each other accountable.
Right. So Malcolm
Right?
X said.
Because there's no controlling where something may go left at. But yeah, other than that, we just have to decide that this is a sacred thing. It's not like every other barbecue, so you can't treat it like every other barbecue. It's got to be something special, and everyone has to feel that way. So if you know you got some wild dudes who normally turn up, coming to your event, you need to have a talk with them ahead of time. And that's why we say look for the events you want to go to. There's something for everyone. There are LGBT Juneteenth events, right? And that's fine, right? There are
should be fine if they black, right?
I mean, no matter what it is, it's fine either way. But now they have a bar crawl. As far as I'm concerned, since I do it for what I do it for, I don't like anything that promotes it through us being inebriated. You feel me? I'm not in support of that. But if you want to use this for that, that's there for you. But if you have children and you want to have a family-focused event and you want to have something where you can take something from it, your babies can be vendors next year because they came this year. The Mr. and Mrs. Juneteenth crowning, there are traditions that we have continued on with this that other people have not even researched. They don't care. They won't care to. It's not about that for a lot of these events. It's just something to do in front of my salon or my car wash to promote my brand. You know what I'm saying? When in reality, you've never even done an event like this. So they don't understand how important it is.
Well, one of the things that I do like about the bar crawl is that they are all black bars, and it's at night. And they did it for St. Patrick's Day. And it was like, well, we should keep up the momentum because I'm one of those people. I'm everything. I'm Mexican. I'm Irish. You know what I mean? Like, if you watch my page, I'm like, Lake gonna be out there. Lake gonna be everywhere. So I want to celebrate a portion of my day the same way. Speaking for others, I've learned what I experienced last year. I want to celebrate a portion of this day with my kid. But later on, after golf, he may have to go back home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about that yesterday. It was like
Keep
we
the
had
party
to start
going.
having a night event because all the new people who started throwing it had night events. So now we make sure we have something.
So
going
what's your
on.
night event?
What's the night
Is our
comedy
the
show?
Juneteenth comedy show is on Friday at the Music Hall. You know what I'm saying? So that will be our night event, as well as Wednesday is our pre-Juneteenth kickoff party.
That's tomorrow.
Yes, that's tomorrow at
And where's
Mr.
that?
Maps Lounge on 7 Months.
Mr. Maps.
Yeah, we gonna have a
Oh,
good
they
time.
got good chicken.
They really do, apparently. Chicken people like it. I don't eat chicken, so I know.
I
But chicken people like it.
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
this is where now?
Mr.
fried
Maps
chicken?
right
Yeah,
on
Mr.
from the
Maps.
crib, 7
It's-
miles.
it's
Yeah,
fried
7
chicken?
Mile at DeQuinder. Yeah, fried chicken. They just love it. They love it.
I keep hearing about the chicken. So I mean that's dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like I said, everybody needs somewhere to be.
Somebody said
Every
Juneteenth is going down in Ferndale.
It's gonna be a couple of
Ferndale
them.
and
They
Roll Up.
do.
Roll Up does a big Juneteenth as well that we help them start. You know what I'm saying? And we help give them the structure to how to do it.
Have you ever been to the? I don't know if I think they call it the farmers market that happens at Royal Oak on the Sundays.
Yes.
With all the, they have all. It's not a food farmers market though.
Right.
Like it's all
It's
the
just
antiques.
stuff. Yeah.
This stuff.
Yeah, it's an interesting, as an artist and building our different collages and stuff. We've taken a couple trips out there and picked up, antebellum memorabilia and all of that.
They bring stuff out their garage.
Yeah, blowing the dust off. It's a crazy little bubble.
Well, one of the things, I don't know how lazy the children are in your family. They're pretty lazy in mine. But if you have a remarkable year like I have with graduates, bring your babies out if they want to celebrate. My family is lazy. My kids. But I have 2 kindergartners, 1 5th graders, 4 8th graders, and 1 12th grader that all went over and passed through in 2025.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of other families that experience that because this is the only year that if you have those age groups in your family, that they all will cross over like that. So
I've seen that in a few households.
right. So make sure that if they want to celebrate themselves, especially like the babies, like
Yeah.
those little kindergartners that had the opportunity to walk across the stage and get their little cap and gowns, and if they don't have their cap and gowns, and this was their year, bring them to the parade. It's still room
Yes,
for them.
we definitely
right?
want to. It's definitely wrong. We want to normalize celebrating their academic achievements and their
Absolutely.
educational growth. We want young people, and I know there's just a small cog in the wheel, but I want a 6th grader to be like, "Oh, I can't wait till we decorate the car for me."
Right.
You feel me? That's just one more card in the make yourself great, do great things pile. You know what I'm saying? Because every time they leave your house, regardless of the 8 hours they've been in there with you, they about to be out here for 16. You know what I'm saying? And all the influencers are in their phone, and they're at the liquor store, and at the gas station, they're walking along the way. We have to do things to lift them up. Detroit focuses too much on get your money. So as soon as they're 18, they like, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, I'm watching a household like a social experiment. I'm watching a black mother who just became a homeowner who allowed her young men to stay in her home.
Right.
You know, she told them you don't have to leave. You can stay here till you get yourself all the way together. I'm like, you know how rare that is?
It's a blessing.
That speaks to the type of young man she's raised and the type of situation she's put herself in, where she's not like, well, if you're gonna stay here, I need $500 a month.
Yeah.
That's not what she owns. She just don't want you to leave until you're prepared.
Absolutely.
You know, so things are changing for us. They brought back dual enrollment. So now our young black students can also go to college and say they go to high school.
Right.
You know, they literally just took that from us for a few
Yeah,
generations.
they
Like
did.
they just took it. Right? I go to college and I meet white people. It's not about being wealthy to come to college. They're like, oh, I was a junior in college when I was a senior in high school.
Right.
Okay.
Then I get a four-year scholarship. I come here. My first year, I get my bachelor's. 2 years, I get my master's. The last year, I get my PhD with that same 4 years that you struggled to get your bachelor's with.
Yep.
Right.
Black people could hustle up on 2 years worth of college money. We couldn't. We ain't been able to pull off that 4 years of college money. You know what I'm saying? But if your kid graduates high school with 2-3 years under their belt, a family a damn show get them through the last year, 2 years of college.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they took that away from us just because they didn't want that as a resource. You know what I'm saying? And I think of how many people had to put selling my car because I'm late on tuition. I ain't got tuition. You remember seeing that? Like they would sell things to try to stay in school because they can't afford it, but they just spent 2 years taking remedial fucking English and math just to add to the coffers of the college.
We're
You know
gonna
what I'm
have
saying?
to come back and talk about that subject because I can't believe that I started college 30 years ago and I still get
Got
a
it.
bill for student loans. That's unbelievable.
I'm enrolling as a freshman in CCS this fall.
Okay.
To get my BFA.
Listen, I'm
Yeah.
in school now, but I am able to have the resources. A young lady I work with did not pay for college at all, and she has like a master's. She was like, yeah, scholarships and grants. And I was like, dang. And she's telling our students this now. So like it's a requirement, but now it's just like there's ways that you don't have to, especially with the dual enrollment. You don't have to pay for college. That is the trick.
Right.
They trying to get you into debt, and I'm like, if I would have known you,
Right.
like 20 years ago.
There's two things that's happening. So we got the dual enrollment, and our babies can go to college with a better shot. And also, there are so many first-time homeowner programs.
Oh yes,
I'm encouraging every one of your child is 18. Go ahead and start them on their homeowner program.
absolutely.
Do it now. Go ahead. Let's get your credit together. Let's get you a bank account that you don't spend nothing out of.
Start on the baby's credit
Yes,
now.
get them together now.
Yeah.
So they won't be 30 trying to figure out what they're gonna do.
Yeah, it took me that long to figure it out, but
That's
once
true. That's normal.
Yeah, but once I figured it out, now I'm setting up my son because he's on my credit, so I'm building his credit as I'm still restoring mine. So by the time he graduate, his score gonna be 700, 800, whatever it is. So now you're able to buy. I plan on him getting a home, have a home already, but you know what I'm saying. You have the buying power, and that's the thing is like they try to limit our buying power, but it's so many things. Like you said, the homeowners program. There's grants that are just strictly for us. And programs that are for us that banks don't even want you to know about, that you don't even necessarily need a 600 or more. You could get a 580 and not just FHA, but you could have a 580 and get you could stack programs. But they don't tell you that unless you have somebody that's in it for you other than themselves.
Those type of jewels come from good realtors.
Right.
Yes.
One of the things is we're sharing wealth of knowledge. I will be having a freshman this fall, so I was trying to think of things that I can do because you watch parents their 12th grade year trying to scrape up everything at the last minute. So I came across an article that said if you save $50 a week, your child will have $12,000 at the end of their senior year. So I was like, maybe I can do $50 every other week. Because if I can give King $6,000 at the end of his senior year, or if we can have $6,000 at the end of his senior year to make sure we can invest in his business, a down payment for his, well, the home that we're living in, my plan is for it to be his.
Yeah.
But we don't forethink. And the one thing I love about this generation, because you guys are business owners, you're creators, you are godfathers of Juneteenth, you're making sure that you're doing something that your babies can come along and be like, hey, this is yours. Like, regardless of it being this big or this big, this is yours. And I'm going to help you with all the education and fighting that I had to go through to find out this information. I'm going to make it easy for you. And I'm going to help you do the work. I'm totally with the young lady you was talking about. My son don't have to go anywhere. I told him, I'll go somewhere before you go somewhere. My credit already messed up. I'll go take out a loan. I got a house that's paid for. Why wouldn't I give it to my black son? So I don't want him to be a homosexual. I don't need that to even be a thought of his to go from woman to woman just to have a place to live or not feel that type of security. Are you sleepy, sweetheart? You can go to bed.
No, I'm listening to you. This is what you're saying is a new understanding that we had to grow into.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Right? Because you talked about the future, and you're talking about the future. We had to get away from the generation, quite frankly, of men and women who were living in the moment. Because that block boy was living in the moment, so was she. Right? There was a generation before where the block boys bought the hair salons and sent them to cosmetology school. Right? The generation after that literally spent 7 years throwing your money in the air. Y'all spent 7 years throwing your money in the air and making that the competition. Your woman didn't get it, your side chick didn't get it, an investment didn't get it, you threw it in the air. For real, like the real money. You know what I'm saying? So now the women are like, you know what? Let me make sure I'm straight. Let me make sure my babies are straight. You know what I'm saying? So they're leading, and that's why our Juneteenth has always had an abundance of sisters and their children. And I've had to make it an effort to go find men You know what I'm saying? Or needing care. I'm sorry.
You say what?
No, you mentioned throwing money in the air. We have this program at Someday called The Underground, and for our first exhibit, Capitalist Society, we turned Someday into a strip club. But it was to comment on how every 4 years politicians shake their ass for their vote, for our votes. So we turned the strippers into Barack Obama and Joe Biden, and Donald Trump was our DJ. And in order to submit the votes, we had Harriet Tubman dollars, and whoever shook their ass the best got the most votes.
That is wild.
Yeah, it was a fun moment.
And-
I was gonna say though, in you speaking about prepping and setting stuff up for King, I started my first business when I was 13 or 12, and it was through a creative passion. We have a few interns joining us at the gallery this summer, and one of the programs is to help them figure out what sort of nonprofit they'd want to open and start. I think, that sort of, you mentioned investing in a business, right? It's if we can develop our own realities and figure out how strong our legs are by themselves,
right,
without jumping into, well, let me get myself employed, let me get on a W-9, so forth and so forth. I have, just historically, I've never been able to work in a typical environment, get a regular job. I've always had to.
He gets fired.
Terrible employee, amazing boss.
That's right.
You're not going to tell me to be here at 9 o'clock.
But the thing about it is,
doesn't
though,
matter.
what I like about what we're doing now is because nothing like the world that we live in, we're understanding what the regular 9 to 5 is. That's not, you can't just. The common and normal person cannot just live off of one stream of income. And so we're learning that, and now that our children are starting to understand that there's non-traditional. Non-traditional is the new traditional.
Right.
Non-traditional ways of income.
Rules.
Yeah, break all those rules. And I'm pushing children to don't think about what kind of job you get. Go after whatever it is that you're passionate about and what you're doing, and exposing our generations now to so many opportunities, and start living it. Because I know in the city, because we're the motor city, the common idea was always, well, I'm gonna be like my granddaddy and work at the plant and and I'm not saying
office.
or the post office. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with the plant or post office. It's nothing wrong with that, but there is better way. There's different ways that you can go about making there's no cap.
Yeah, right. Don't get caught up in your check.
There you go.
Okay, you work for the plant. You work for the post office. If you are single with no children, you a baller. Okay.
Yeah.
However, if you get the check and spend the check and get the check and spend the check, then you're on a hamster wheel now, regardless of how good it is. And all of a sudden, when you have a child, it's like you don't have enough money. You spent every single dollar, and you got a boat that's leased. You got 2 cars that's leased. Slow down and invest in yourself. I know a sister who just retired from the post office and just went to work at Amazon. Like, her money, she like, whatever, now I'm going on to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily want to be punching the clock from 9 to 5 when I'm 55, 60 years old. You know what I'm saying? But this generation lets us know that that's possible. You don't have to look forward to that as your end. You know what I'm saying?
There's no end goal.
Yeah.
You create your own retirement, because by the time, it ain't gonna be no Social Security. There ain't gonna be none of that we can lean on, and that people before us leaned on or depended on. So I like pushing. There is no cap. Don't even limit yourself. I don't want my son to even think that he has a certain. No, there's no glass ceiling. If you think so, break it.
Okay, I love that. So I have a question for both of our panelists, and don't forget, you're supposed to be here tomorrow too. I just want to remind you. I'll call you.
Yes, ma'am.
So Jay and Sam, what could the community do for Someday to make sure that you guys are here tomorrow?
Curiosity.
Yep.
And
come check
being
us out.
Open to explore that. We always say thank you for your curiosity when you come into Someday, because it's kind of like a red pill, blue pill situation in the vestibule. It's like a lot of studious blacks, and that kind of off-puts people. But when they come in, they're like, oh, thank you for bringing me here. Thank you. They thank us for just saying hello. So be curious.
And you are located where?
East Grand Boulevard in Oakland, 2857 East Grand Boulevard.
What other events do you guys have that we could participate outside of Juneteenth?
So our Instagram is someday.wewill. I'd say that's the easiest place to see all of our programming. And the programming is pretty dynamic, jumping between the conversation of, traditional arts and culinary. So we have workshops where folks can come in with, children by themselves, learn how to make different food items. We've done a few, house-made buttermilk biscuit workshops, and you're making the buttermilk from scratch. We also have art creation workshops. We have lectures, panels, parties from time to time. But the idea is, we're a communal space, a third space, and we're using the cuisine and the artwork, approaching them as artifacts. These items have the ability to harness and host both our traumas and our triumphs. And with your curiosity, we can expose one another and enlighten ourselves. So that's it. That's Jante and I, we come from commercial backgrounds, working in different, different markets. This isn't it's not a get rich scheme. You know what I'm saying? Like we're literally trying to storytell and sacrifice what we have to create a potential reality for others.
I love it. Are you guys still doing chess?
When people are down, the chessboard's always there. Okay. We didn't get a huge amount of attention, and so there was a season we tried to collaborate with a couple other chess organizations, and I appreciated your point where you said you got 97 small voices, but if we can. It's been our mission to find out as many ways as possible, to plant seeds with different folks doing the work so we can just be unified.
Wait, you have a chess. What do you have with the chess? My son plays chess. That's why I'm asking. Like, what y'all do?
It was a season every Sunday. We would just have boards out and you could pull up, get a couple games in. If you didn't know how to play, you could learn. Very, easygoing vibe. We just weren't getting.
It just didn't hit off the
way.
It
didn't get the traction.
We are definitely interested in that.
I appreciate
was gonna say definitely bring that back. What you need.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, let's plant some seeds.
So we are 2 days from the annual Juneteenth Community Festival, the 15th. But what I want to know is what can we all do for the 16th annual that will make next year even more dynamic than it will be this year?
Well, we still have time this year to do some things, right? We still got time to reach more graduates. It's very important that we have as many graduates out there as we can, right? So that's a very big part to our parade, and for people to come out and witness this for themselves. I invite everybody to the parade because I know it's going to go up after that, but you need to start with the parade. You know what I'm saying? As far as going forward to next year, because we also still taking donations, I need $380 to pay for a marching band. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still shy on that. But going forward next year, I would say find like minds. And communicate what you want to do. Like you said, there's no ceiling. So there are people here, like we still haven't found a tumbler yet or a black magician. When it comes to entertainment, we found everything else. We ain't found anybody to flip, and we haven't found anybody to do magic tricks. You feel me? So there's
found no little boys that still no.
We haven't found them. You know what I'm saying? But we definitely. That's why we always on a grassy space because we just want to show everything that we do. Right. Gospel is a part of us. Magic is a part of us. Acrobatics is a part of us. Anything that makes our, like for example, Demone D-Mac the barber, she'll be cutting heads all day, like for free. I'm talking about like last year she cut like 30, 40 heads. Her and her team, they bring out an entire barbershop and they cut hair in the barbershop under the tent. There's a sister from Boss's Link Up who'll be doing free hairdos for young sisters under 10 years old. Wow. Right? So it's just important that we get out and we use these resources that we have found so that they continue to come back next year. So
how can people donate? You said you were, so I'm saying this to everybody. If anybody on this line is listening, 7 of y'all, whatever, $20, where y'all at? How can they donate? How can they pour into Juneteenth and what you're doing? Because you said you're shy, so I'm making a call right now. If you see this, share this. and to donate to a cause that you're gonna come out and celebrate.
Yes, come see what your $20 paid for.
Yeah, come see what the $20
Come see what your $20 did. You know what I'm saying? And
So-
you can really claim that. Like, look at this. Look at this.
Like, legitimately be a part of that.
Yes.
So if they want to donate, they want to come and just contribute. If they can't be there physically, how can they contribute monetarily?
We have Cash App and Zelle. Our Cash App, we went through that yesterday.
Yeah, you go through it every day.
Yeah, we go through it. We have Cash App and Zelle, but most importantly, like directly to us, is our website is JuneteenthInDetroit.com.
Hold on, I'm putting this in the chat right now.
JuneteenthInDetroit.com. And what's your Cash App?
LLL
Oh, Lord.
KWU74.
All right, hold on.
We all got quiet like it. Yeah, it should just be Juneteenth is coming.
That's too many letters for people. They don't even like my email.
No, because I'm putting this in the chat right now. So hold on, wait.
KWU
74. Yep.
Are y'all a nonprofit?
You said
We are not.
hold on, one more time for the slow person right here.
LLKWU 74.
And what's the Zelle?
The Zelle is a phone number.
Okay. Juneteenth in Detroit, right?
Juneteenth in Detroit. Yeah.
Wait,
That's our website, JuneteenthInDetroit.com.
Oh, okay. Wait, y'all. Hold on. Juneteenth. I'm the one that gotta say it out loud. Juneteenth.
Calvin, like, let me just put it in there. LL.
Okay.
Thank you, Cal.
And everybody, y'all look. Okay, everybody stop.
It takes a village.
Everybody
Thank
stop.
you.
Though.
Listen, Cal be on the
is like
media.
LLKWU74. That's not it. It's 3 L's.
JuneteenthInDetroit.com.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all.
And are you ready for the Zelle phone number?
Hold on. Let me put it. Hold on.
They ain't even got
Let's
the
go another
Cash
ball
App.
where she juggling. Go another ball in there.
I'm gonna get this because I'm gonna be here tomorrow. I'm gonna have this already pre-written out so I could just copy paste. Okay.
Arnold champion, but she got to hold a tennis racket.
Yeah,
All
no,
Yeah.
right, the Zelle phone number is 313-979-6242.
6242.
Yep.
One more time, can I'm gonna put it in there because they all wrong with this Cash App.
We all being wrong. Don't send it.
Heavy on it one more time.
She's about don't send it. All of those are wrong.
Okay.
LLL
KWU
KWU
74.
74.
Don't laugh at my all lowercase. Okay, just
No, I'm laughing at the fact that
everybody helping it wrong.
all y'all
At
wrong.
least everybody would know.
I had okay. I had a O.
Everybody
Lord.
knows wrong. It's okay.
Strong and wrong. But the thing is,
Together.
$20 is great. But if you ain't got it, all of it is great.
Yeah,
Yes, every dollar counts. And don't
Every
forget
dollar
what's
counts.
most important, and I mean this with all my heart. You ain't got to send a dime. Just show up.
show up.
Be there to witness this and feel what this feels like so that you can be like, you know what, yeah, that's something I want to be a part of. Not just ours, but this is the vibe you want because we are now going to collaborate with this brother and sister, and we have 2 other collaborations. And I know the hardest part is going to be people leaving where they are, like, because we all chose where we were, so, you know, because of significance, you know what I'm saying? But it's just going to take some compromise because Juneteenth is supposed to be celebrated 7 days and 7 nights. In that span of time, we can all have events on different days.
Absolutely.
But when the 19th comes, we need to shut the city down. You feel me? We talking about we all gonna be on Gratiot, or we all gonna be on Woodward, or we all wherever we gonna choose. We have to go about it that route. And if
You know
people
what?
choose to be by themselves with those little satellite events, then that's what they'll do.
You know what I would like to see in the future, if I can manifest this, and I do have a power of the tongue. If you guys ever been to Birmingham, Alabama during their Mardi Gras festival, Mardi Gras originally started in Birmingham. So when they do their parades, it's 3 days, and every single person is a part of it. Now, what they do is they split the city up in a triangle. So these parades are only over here this first day, the second day, and the third day, and then the fourth day, which is like that Monday or on Fat Tuesday. They all the
Come
community come together, and it's like one big family reunion. And they work on their floats. I want to see floats. You know what I mean? They work on their floats for half a year. And then when you're, as a patron, when you're going down the street, they're throwing ho-ho cakes and cookies and cream, and people are walking away
And
with
cream
food.
pies.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying? Like bags and bags of food. There's no alcohol. There's no beads and people showing their titties. It's kids walking away with snacks.
Yeah.
And they're coming. It's to be a part of that type of celebration just makes you want to do it more and more. So I'm telling you guys, let's start off by being patrons.
Yes.
Those of us who are not going to be walking, let's sit on the sideline. Let's cheer, because them babies love to hear people clapping for them and taking pictures with them and stopping. I mean, that's all I got.
For the people throwing events, you know, they'll look back. I've had people say, in passing conversation, what kind of slave you think you would have been? Well, let me tell you what type of slave you are if you're an organizer. If you're not caring about the safety of your people, if you're not caring about furthering their education and enlightening them, then you are our problem. You are the problem with these festivals. The problems that are going to arise will arise at your festival because you're not respecting it. You have to respect us, respect your people, and know your crowd, know your audience. You do not need to drink liquor for 8 hours in 90-degree weather while you play neighborhood rap music that causes people to claim certain areas and throw signs up. You do not need this. Y'all just did that last weekend. You're going to do it for 4th of July. If they want to wild out, tell them take their ass on somewhere. And I pity the fool who's the first one we have to make an example of for putting our children in danger during this time. You will be considered the enemy of the people and get your ass broke up.
Nice.
You feel me? Like, just be cool, come out, have fun, and go home.
You are so intimidating. But I'm with him. I would smack the shit out of you.
Yeah, we're going to take you behind the stove and do something to you. And your wife will just meet you at the hospital because you're not here to watch you slap your kids around and no shit like
The
that.
auntie talk. Like, excuse me, come here.
Ooh, the
Come
finger?
here.
Come
here.
I hate
here.
the booty hole
You
mouth.
could at least get a tumbler for that?
Here.
Booty hole mouth.
Yeah.
Hey, so I have a question about the committee that you're going to start.
Yeah.
Or is it already started?
No,
You're
we're definitely
going
starting it
to start
after this year. Yeah.
on the 20th. For those organizations that may have had it smaller events and all that kind of stuff, is the website a best place to contact you, or if they want to be?
JuneteenthInDetroit.com. If you are interested in us seeing how far we can take this together, JuneteenthInDetroit.com. Right? We need, because with all the ideas I have, I don't have them all. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how much better this could be.
Absolutely.
With 17 different minds coming with the culture and the excitement, and everywhere you turn and go is something going on. You know what I'm saying? Like when you walk through our event, there's a woman doing locks because that's part of us. There's someone playing a saxophone. There's someone down there playing a violin because we do make music. You know what I'm saying? But there are people who have never, our young people especially, who's never seen this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Every time they come to something, it's red cups in our hands. The same type of music is playing. This is an amazing example of the layers of us. And I'm simply asking that on this day, we put our best foot forward. And if you focus on these children, it's really difficult for you to go left with your event.
So all of the communities, all of you organizations that are doing something and you want it to be bigger. I want us to get out the mindset of me, my, and I and get into the mindset of community and we. If we come together, there is no. There's a no.
Someday,
Hey,
always.
But I'm just saying.
someday.
No, but I'm just saying, no, seriously, like with the numbers, you can't tell us no. We're already powerful individual.
We got to show them this is what
But
we want.
yes, this is what we want. Like he said, if we just start marching on Woodward, you ain't gonna have no choice but to let us march down Woodward and parade and celebrate our
And I'm
community.
really just trying not to disrespect the system that way. But it's like I'm getting my people are starting to step on each other. You feel me? We getting crowded on this little bitty street, and Woodward is the oldest road, the first paved road. Like this is a historic thing, and I don't know what the Dream Cruise pays, right? But I know they bring revenue.
Right.
And that's what we need our local businesses and governments to understand, that we're going to bring revenue to your area when we bring these 25,000 black people to your street. You know
And
what I'm
that's
saying?
going to grow it. It's going to be over that. Once it's just going to be over that.
Absolutely.
I'm not even going to limit it to 25,000. When we bring these hundreds of thousands, these 20s of thousands of people to this area, understand we're the dollar anyway. We are the ones that we're the main consumers and buyers. So why not encourage on, at least during this time when we want to come without any issue, when we're not drinking, when we're sober minded and just celebrating community, come and celebrate with us, be a part. And I'm not saying we want to be a part. No, let's come together. I'm not asking or begging. Let's just come together and be a community and come be a part of something great.
We definitely have a chance to unite.
Have y'all looked at East Grand Boulevard as a potential walk-in?
The Boulevard?
Yeah, the
No,
Boulevard.
we did not. We have
East and
not.
West?
It was just the only place we looked at was Jefferson, Gratiot, and Woodward, and then we kind of settled on Woodward with the history of it. You know what I'm saying? And because Highland Park is a black city, but some politicians are put places just to be space keepers. You know what I'm saying? Just because they have the title does not mean they care about culture or their people or anything. I'm here to collect my check and bounce.
Political actors.
And there are those type of people running things over there.
So
But that's all right. It's about to be new mayor time.
Okay,
y'all
it is
voting
about.
for?
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on.
Who are you voting for?
Okay, I don't know. But before, because we are about to close the show soon in the next 4 minutes. I know
Okay.
it goes by so quickly. But before we let each of our guests go, I would like, starting with Sam, for you to tell us what's on your heart with the upcoming election or Juneteenth or whatever. Just share with the people a thought or two.
I think I said a little bit earlier, you know, the powers that be have shown us at a commercial level, administrative, institutional level, we can't rely on the systems that have gotten us to where we are. We need to consider what a village model looks like and what that means. We're experiencing in America right now political assassinations, folks being deported, harmed, all types of stuff. And it feels like, you know, it's only the beginning of the summer. It's going to get worse. So let's figure out a way to lock arms and be intentional about what we need to get to the next 25 years, 30, 50 years.
Okay.
Noise.
Jay?
I like to say, in regards to, you said numbers, I was watching this video of thousands of people stopping someone from being arrested and deported in LA. Like, the people came together to stop the police from arresting someone, and that moved me. So I would say, in numbers, we are stronger. So let's just come together, put some chairs up, put some tables down, you know, do something, take the trash out, help.
Right. Love that.
Yeah.
A few years ago, white men needed money, so they started weed shops. A couple years after that, white men needed money, so they outlawed prostitution and started selling women online. Right now, white men need money, so they're getting rid of all the Mexicans because they're competing with them in contracting jobs and all that type of stuff. Black people have always needed money, and this is our shot. This is our shot to take control of something for us, by us, and make sure that we straight. We talking about a year's worth of money in 1 week.
Yeah.
Just because we all decided to come out and spend a few dollars. That's what they don't want you to have. Juneteenth is like the Book of Eli. And it really depends on who has it and what they're using it for, to how effective it can be for our community. So when I meet brothers and sisters like yourselves, I'm like, I'm so glad y'all showed up. You feel me? I'm so glad y'all here.
I'm glad you showed
because
up.
the first
We was
when
worried.
it first became a national holiday. No, I mean they showed up like to Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? Because the first couple years when it became a national holiday, it was just party, get drunk, and it's like, okay, I know it's gonna be some people who come for the meat of this, who come and see it for the bigger picture. And I'm glad that I met you all, and I'm glad that you exist and that you're keeping that going in that way.
Yeah, definitely.
G, you got a thought real quick?
Let's just be intentional. Continue to be intentional with your community. Continue to be intentional with your time. Continue to be intentional with your families. And this is the perfect time to, if you haven't already, to start and continue. And I just ask that everybody come together and let's just shine.
Okay.
Ashe.
And my brothers and sisters, I need you to stand strong and be bold, knowing that you have love behind you. When times are tough, you are truly powerful. We are a force behind everybody in this journey, and we need to be here to support one another, spend our money with one another, and make sure that we do it all in love. There's no time like the present to figure out ways to show how much we love one another. The hate needs to stop today. On that note, we will be having Mr. Kong back here tomorrow. Gigi will be here tomorrow. This is the Rise and
On
Grind.
time.
This is the Rise and Grind morning show. I'm your girl, Lake Be Everywhere, and I will see you next Tuesday.
Peace.
And I will see you Thursday at the parade. Everybody. I love
See
you.
y'all.
Peace,
Bye-bye.
peace. Thank y'all.
Hey, stay black.
Happy Tuesday.
Bye bye.